There is difference between school of thought and sect. A school of thought is a particular way of thinking, while a school of thought, though considers, prefers his own methodology and differentiate with other school of thought, but does not consider the other school of thought as deviant or heretic. While a sect considers anyone who differs with that sect or a cult as either deviant or heretic. That's the major difference between the school of thought and sects. There are various schools of thought in Islam. If you study the Sunni, they have the most popular amongst them are the Hanafi, the Maliki, the Shafis, the Hanbalis, and I would also like to add another school of thought, which is Ahl Hadith school of thought or the Salafi school of thought. Ahl Hadith is more of an Indian movement, while Salafi is more of a Saudi or Arab based movement. And I would in the Shia we have the most popular is the Jafari school of thought. Now there is nothing wrong in having a school of thought. What's wrong is having a sect. Sectarianism is prohibited in Islam. But people may differ. People may have a different outlook. In fact, I would say that different school of thought which are present in Islam is actually a mercy. I know there is an inauthentic hadith about it. I am not quoting that hadith, but the chain of the hadith is weak, but the meaning is correct. That the difference of opinion among the scholars are mercy. Why? Because you have more options to choose between different school of thought, and we are lucky that since there are different school of thought, we can choose from any of them. I may differ with those people who say that you need to follow up one particular school of thought, and you should not change your the school of thought, but I differ with them. The reason is that even those people agree that the other schools of thought are also valid. So if other schools of thought are also valid, why should I not pick and choose between the school of thought? I am not picking and choosing in religion. For example, I am not saying that I will pray 3 times a day, or I will do tawaf only 2 times, or I will not do hajj. I will pray, I will not fast. I am not picking and choosing in the religion. I am picking and choosing in school of thought, because in school of thought is a more of an ijtihadi, or you may say analogical matters, jury, jurisprudence matter. And when everyone agrees that the others of school of thought is valid, why can't we just sometimes follow Hanafi school of thought, sometimes we can follow Shafi school of thought? And since everyone is saying that all these four schools of thought is valid, why can't we follow these schools of thought based upon their evidence? Maybe there are some instances where the evidences of Hanafi may be uh, more appropriate. There may be some cases in which the evidences given by the Hanbalis may be more appropriate. There are some cases in which uh, the fatwas of Shafis may be more flexible and appropriate. So why can't we have so rich tradition of school of thought? So why can't we just, it's like a sea. Why we cannot make use of the sea, whole sea at the same time, but we can pick and choose from the sea itself. So when we have the knowledge of the sea, why can't we just pick and choose between them based upon evidence? I would not say that based upon desire, since I don't think that this objection that you are picking and choosing based upon desire, because I am not picking and choosing in Quran and Sunnah, which is agreed upon by all school of thought with everyone. I am not picking and choosing in that. I am not picking and choosing in something which every Muslim agrees upon. Every Muslim. I am not picking and choosing in Quran. I am not picking and choosing in Sunnah. I am picking and choosing in those matter which is left to ijtihad. So why can't I not choose the ijtihad of one scholar if I think that his ijtihad is more flexible or he has more evidences, versus I may choose a different scholar who has maybe this time his ijtihad is weak, maybe other time his ijtihad may be very strong. So why can't I just pick and choose in those matter which are ijtihadi, which are uh, which are based on the difference of opinion among the scholars? Why can't I pick and choose between those? So this is actually a mercy. This we are very grateful. We are very, I must say, lucky that we have so many schools of thought, and that even includes Zahiri school of thought of Ibn Hazm, and of course I have already mentioned the Ahl Hadith school of thought, and even the Javed Ahmad Ghamdi school of thought, which is the Farahi school of thought. So we have so much option, we have so much flexibility in our religion that we can choose from different school of thought based upon their evidences. And I am not picking and choosing in Quran and Sunnah, which is agreed upon by the consensus and the tawatur and the uh, perpetual transfer, mass transmission of Quran and Sunnah. I am not differing with that. I am not differing with the ijma and the tawatur. Tawatur is something which is transmitted by one generation to another. I am not differencing. I am not picking and choosing in that. I am not picking and choosing in prayer whether I need to pray or not. I am not picking and choosing in iman. I am not picking and choosing in zakat. I am not picking and choosing in all the pillars of Islam or all the 6 pillars of iman. I am not picking and choosing that. I have to agree to it 100%. But I may pick and choose in those matter which are much detailed and which there is scope of difference of opinion. Why cannot I pick and choose in that based upon the evidence provided? So this is the question. So this school of thought is actually a mercy, and as compared to the sect, what the sect do, they what they do, that if you don't follow them, if you don't follow my sect, then you are a deviant, you are a gumrah, you are a heretic, and maybe sometimes you are also a kafir. Now this mentality is just an antagonism to the school of thought. A school of thought can change into a sect if it has one mentality, that whatever, that only I follow Quran and Sunnah and nobody else follow Quran and Sunnah. This attitude, I'm sorry to say, can be found in the Salafi school of thought. I'm not blaming everyone. I do consider Ahl Hadith and Salafi school of thought as a valid school of thought, and I would not mind accepting that the school of thought which has benefited me the most are the Ahl Hadith school of thought or the Salafi school of thought. This school of thought has benefited me the most. I have learned many things from this school of thought as compared to other school of thought. But at the same time, I need to even say that this school of thought mostly is turning into a sect, and what they are doing, they are just blaming each other as heretic, deviant, and they are just stereotyping everyone. So I'm against this kind of mentality. This is a sectarianism mentality. This is something which is an arrogance. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that whoever has a atom weight of arrogance will not enter Jannah. I'm against this mentality. And every school of thought has the potential to become a sect. So we should be very careful. We should appreciate the difference of opinion. We may follow our own school of thought. We may think that this school of thought is more closer to the Quran and Sunnah. I would like to remind, I am not saying to choose between Quran and Sunnah. I am saying to pick and choose, to choose which interpretation of Quran and Sunnah do you want to follow. And the interpretation may be some interpretation of Quran and Sunnah may be very strict, and some interpretation of Quran and Sunnah may be very lenient. It depends upon which kind of mentality you have. If you have a very strict mentality, you may choose the position which is the strict. If you have a lenient mentality, you may choose a position which is more lenient. And I would also like to add that many people say that you should not choose the easiest options in the fiqh or the school of thought. I would like to remind you that this religion is based upon ease. The purpose of this religion is to have ease in this world. Otherwise, this world is already very difficult. So this religion actually brings peace and ease to our life. And Quran is very clear upon it. Quran clearly say that we have not placed any difficulty in this religion, any harj in this religion. This religion is very easy, and Allah even say, yuridukumullahu yusra wala yuridukumullahu usra, that Allah intends ease for you. Allah does not intend difficulty for you. And if you see the hadith, even the hadith say, but yassir wala tuassir, bashir wala tunaffar, that make things easy for people, don't make things difficult for the people. And bashir, give glad tidings, wala tunaffar, don't make people run away from the religion. But unfortunately we see that because of these so-called scholars, people are, because they have made the religion so difficult that people are running away from the religion. And much can be said, but I would like to conclude at this point because the video is already very long.